If you want to get longer casts, and who doesn't, I'm going to show you 4, count them, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to do it this week on Kayak Hacks. Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, we cover kayak modifications, spin, and fly fishing. So poke that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. The reason you want to get a longer cast is that you're going to cover more water. If you can extend your cast by as little as 15 feet and you throw 100 casts in a day, that's another 1,500 feet of water that you cover while you're fishing. And that 15 feet is at the far end. It's away from you on the shore or on your boat, and that means the fish are less likely to be spooked and know you're there. The reason you're not getting a long cast right now, if we eliminate bad casting technique, is because of the inherent friction built into your reel and your rod. And so these 4 tips address each of those. So let's address the first tip right now. You're probably, given that this is January, you're probably just about ready to change out your lines in preparation for the new fishing season. So before you just go put the same thing on there, make a call on whether you really need the pound test that you've been using in the past. Do you really need 20 pound, or can you get by with 15 pound? And the reason is friction. Heavier pound test equates to thicker line, and thicker line results in more friction. Now the fastest way you can reduce the thickness of your line is to switch from mono to braid, and I'll show you why. But here's a piece of 17 pound mono, and here's a piece of 20 pound braid. Now just look at the friction that's going to be generated because the mono is not limp. When I push down on the mono, you see it bounces right back up, but the braid drops down. This means that the braid is going to be more flexible and is going to shoot out of your rod and reel combination a lot easier than the mono. And here's why. That mono comes off in coils. You see how that's coiling up? Every one of those coils is going to hit the lip of the reel, rub against that, and then it's going to rub against the line guides as it goes down range. Every touch of the line is friction, and every touch reduces casting distance. So if you switch to braid, you can see that this just comes off nice and smooth, and there's no memory in the line, so it's going to go through my line guides a lot faster than the mono. Now, you got to decide what pound test braid you want. Thinner pound test braid is less friction, it's going to be more flexible, and it's going to shoot farther. If you don't believe me, check out this video that the guys at Salt Strong did, where they actually tested 15 pound braid against 20 pound braid and achieved a significant increase in casting distance by reducing the pound test that they were using. Tip number 2, the second way you can increase your casting distance is to actually use the lure and line conditioners. I did an extensive test. You can look at this playlist and you can see how I tested Real Magic against Bearline, then Real Magic against defunct Real Performance, and then the winner was this KVD line and lure conditioner. Once you squirt this onto your line and onto your guides, it's going to lubricate everything and reduce that friction even further. So this thing only costs about $8. Probably half a lifetime supply is in here, and I strongly recommend you pick up some of this. So that was tip number 2. Grease it and lose it. So the first 2 tips were things you can probably do right away. You're going to change your line, and if you go out and spend another $8, you can get that line conditioner. The last 2 tips require you to take a look at the equipment you're using. So tip number 3 is, what rod length are you using? If you use a longer rod, you're going to get a longer cast because there's a bigger lever at the end to flip that lure as far as you want it to go. The downside to using a really long rod is they tend to be less accurate. So if you're fishing mostly in open water where there's not a lot of cover, the next time you buy a rod, get one that's long. And you can see from this video I did on fishing with the 9-foot rod that it certainly worked out for me. The fourth tip is to pick the right reel. The next time you have to buy a reel, go ahead and pick one that's designed to support a longer cast. Typical reels look just like this Penn Battle, and you can see here the lip is pretty much flat and straight up and down. And what this means is that the line, as the line goes out, it's going to rub against this hard lip. And when it's up here at the top, you can see that the line during the entire wrap is going to rub against that lip. And the fact that it's perpendicular to the reel means that that line is going to rub and create friction. Well, so there's 3 ways reel designers deal with this. The first 2 are how the spool is made. Some spools are longer, and what that means is that more line goes out before you get to the top wrap where it's got to hit this lip. The second spool design is it's fatter, and that's the same theory. I'm going to get more line off before it hits the lip. Now, those end up being pretty expensive because those types of reels require more material to make. The third way reels are manufactured to support long casting is they're manufactured with a beveled lip, like my CS8 right here. And you can see the difference between it and the Penn Battle. Penn Battle is the perpendicular arrangement, and here on this Cadence Fishing CS8, it's got the bevel. And that bevel allows the line to, instead of hitting that flat part, it eases out and then rolls right over it. And if you've used the line and lure conditioner, that's going to go even faster. And the last thing when you're looking at your reel is to keep enough line on there to minimize the jump between where the line is spooled on the reel and the lip. As you can see here, I'm at the end of the season. I need to add more line to my Cadence fishing reel. And while we're at it, you know, these Cadence reels are great. They've got the angled dip. They don't cost very much. And if you spend $50 on their gear, they're going to donate a kid's rod and reel combo to one of their charities. So if you're looking for a reel, I like these, and I like the charitable mission as well. So those are 4 ways that you can increase the distance of your cast. If you've got any others that I haven't mentioned, please throw them in the comments below, because I fish in open water and I need a long cast to get to those spooky redfish. Thanks.